Welcome. This video will demonstrate how to use the Connection Manager to manage bolt connections in ANSYS. Since in an assembled model the individual components are connected in various positions and with various techniques, the tools which will carry out such tasks must be able to easily interpret the information provided by the user into the desired FE representations. One of the tools used in ANSYS for this purpose is the Connection Manager. Assembly-specific tools are gathered in the Assembly menu and can also be accessed through the Assembly toolbar. Let us begin with the current model. Change the view of the model to PID representation and isolate the low piston and the upper piston property using the Knot tool. Change the selection option to PID and select the previously mentioned PIDs. In the Assembly toolbar in the Edit Connections section, select the Create tool in order to define holes. This step will help ANSYS understand the geometric characteristics of the model which will be used in the following automated procedures. A new window appears where the user can define parameters for the bolt connections. These parameters will be used by ANSYS to identify any potential holes for bolt connection. We will be working on the visible entities and the user can set the program to search for either holes or 3D holes. In this case, Search for 3D holes was selected. To further filter the search field, so that ANSYS automatically defines bolt connections to specific holes, use the Measure tool to calculate the hole's diameter and insert the value to the max value of the search tool. Check the Exclude Single Part Connections option so that ANSYS will search for different PID entities and set the proximity to 1 as we need to connect entities with a very small proximity. As you can see, ANSYS has searched the visible entities and defined FE representations for bolt connections to the 3D holes with diameters less than 10 mm. Moving on, to insert predefined bolts with specific characteristics, click on the Template Manager. The Connection Template Manager is a tool that enables the grouping of connections according to user-specified rules and the massive assignment of connection settings per connection group. A collection of connections is loaded to an assembly scenario. Applying the scenario assigns the specified template to the connections of each group and subsequently the proper FE representation settings. Click on Read Scenario to load an existing one. As you can see, there is information regarding several entities, but in this case, we are interested only in the bolt type. Double-click on the template to view its contents. As you can see, there are two predefined bolt connection templates with ID 1 and 2 respectively. These values will be the TID values for future reference. Let's proceed with the Connection Manager, which is located on the left side of the window. The Connection Manager is used for handling connection entities, previewing and modifying their attributes and realizing them into user-specified FE representations. All necessary information for the realization of a connection are defined in the connection entity, such as position, connectivity, etc., allowing connection elements between components to be directly generated. The connectivity information of connections can be viewed and modified. Connection entities can be loaded and unloaded from the Connection Manager. In this case, having already read a template scenario, all the bolts contained in the scenario have been loaded to the Connection Manager with their information including the diameter, the properties of the first and of the second part involved in the connection, status of the realization, etc. Each connection type can be found in a different tab at the top area of the window. The Connection Manager window is divided in 3 sections. The Connection Entities list. The Connected Parts/Properties section. The Right Side Panel section. The user can select to display additional information about the connections in the right side panel through the view of the Connection Manager. In the FE Rep Settings section, the user can set up the options and parameters that will be taken into account for the generation of connection elements when the Realize button is pressed. There are two view modes for the FE representation settings, the dynamic and the clipboard mode. The dynamic mode, default, allows the setup of the FE representation. This means that while the selection of connections changes, the settings displayed in the window are updated, in order to reflect the settings of the connections currently selected. The dynamic view provides a real-time comparison between the settings of the selected connections and displays the non-common values grayed out. The clipboard view provides a static card for the setup of the FE representation. The user can switch from one mode to the other through the toggle button at the top. The TID is a connection template ID. A connection that adheres to a connection template acquires its characteristics. It can be set to the ID numbers defined in the scenario as shown previously. In this case, using the clipboard view, the ID 1 is set to the first bolt connection. By pressing Enter, the bolt connection entity has taken the predefined parameters as shown. Click Apply to set the settings to the connection. The button Realize applies the settings to the selected connections and generates the FE connection entities. The button Apply sets the settings to the selected connections without generating the FE entities. By pressing the middle mouse button on the Connection Manager window, we minimize it in order to inspect the connection on the model. Then, by pressing the Realize button, we implement the connection. When the realization of the connection is successful, an OK label appears in the status of the connection entity in the connection entities list. The same procedure can be followed for the other connection entity. Using the Not tool, we hide the PIDs so that we can inspect the FE representation of the connection entities. If we want to massively modify a parameter of the connection entities in the list, we can select the entities where the modification will be applied, and press the right mouse button on the respective parameter. This action will bring up a window with a modification area. In this case, by setting the TID of both connection entities to 2, pressing Enter, and selecting Now for the realization of the connection, we manage to massively modify the entities to the same FE representation. This was a workflow using the Connection Manager for automated procedures regarding bolt connections. Thank you for watching.